What's going on, everyone? It is go time. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves for their first play-in game, and hopefully they win, lock in that 7th seed, but more importantly, get the 4 days rest. The Lakers really need it. They have looked very tired at times, very fatigued at times, and they've had just this uphill battle and journey that they've had to go through and climb in order to just get in this position, see it through, get it done, get into that 7th seed, and then get the rest and prepare for Memphis. And the Lakers caught themselves a really nice break, right? Minnesota is a tough matchup. They size up against us well, but they decided to completely fall apart. Rudy Gobert thought it was a great idea to punch Kyle Anderson and get himself suspended. Jaden McDaniels thought it was a great idea to punch the wall and break his hand, so he's out. And then Naz Reid, unfortunately, he got actually injured in a game earlier in the season, which is unfortunate, but he's going to be out as well. So they're missing 3 of their 6 best players, and that is a huge benefit for the Lakers. Now, the Lakers can't underestimate Minnesota. Minnesota still has plenty of talent. I mean, Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley, and Karl Anthony Towns together, they're good enough to get you like 80 points. So Lakers are going to have to lock in. They're going to have to stay focused. They're going to have to get the job done. But Minnesota is extremely small now at the center position. They literally have no one. Garza looks like he's out. They don't have Rudy Gobert. They don't have Naz Reid. So that basically leaves Karl Anthony Towns and, like, I don't even know who they're going to put at the 5 at that point. So that is great for the Lakers in the matchup with Anthony Davis, but also with our guys like, Winning Gabriel, Tristan Thompson, even Mo Bamba. Although I think Mo might be a tougher matchup just because he's going to end up having to guard a smaller player very likely. So probably Winning Gabriel or Tristan Thompson are probably best for this matchup. But it looks like Minnesota might just pack it in altogether. So we got reports that Karl Anthony Towns is questionable for Tuesday, and some outlets actually have him doubtful for today's game, which I think is very interesting. But Underdog NBA seems to be one of the more reliable places. So, I wanted to share this one, but Karl Anthony Towns is questionable with the calf injury, and it's not really that far-fetched that Minnesota would just sit him and pack it in, because they know that they're small. They know that they're outmanned. They know that outside of Karl Anthony Towns, there is no real center. Now, Minnesota does have a puncher's chance. Maybe Cat goes off for like 30 or 40. Anthony Edwards, he can go off for 60. Maybe they just shoot the lights out and guys really step up. I mean, Minnesota, even when they fell apart and completely collapsed like a house of cards, they still rallied and ended up winning the game against the Pelicans, and they were losing at the time and everything. It was a mess. It looked like they were going to get blown out. Granted, they were at home at that time. It's the Pelicans, not the Lakers, and the Lakers are at home, so there are different circumstances. But still, I mean, Minnesota is a team that could make some noise, right? But do they look at this and go, okay, we're probably going to have to play Karl Anthony Towns at least 40 to 48 minutes, and we probably still lose this game. And now Karl Anthony Towns could get hurt. He could get beat up. He could be tired. He could be a lot of things, and we're going to need him for that second play-in game. That's something that they could really look at, where they could say, hey, you know what? Let's just sit out Karl Anthony Towns. We'll just go completely small. Maybe we get hot and shoot the lights out with 5 wide, and we beat the Lakers, and we move into the 7th spot, and then that's a home run, right? But if we don't and we do lose, well, at least now we have a fresh Karl Anthony Towns. Rudy Gobert should be back, and we can kind of get back into the swing of things. That could very well be a possibility. Now, my guess is that Karl Anthony Towns plays. I really do. I also wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers are up like 15-20 at any point in this game. Karl Anthony Towns, you just don't see, unless Minnesota like crawls back into it. So like, let's say even in the second quarter, let's say the Lakers are up, I don't know, like 45-25 or something like that, right? I think Karl Anthony Towns is out the game. I think they leave him out the game unless the Timberwolves start climbing back into it. Let's say they all of a sudden it's 35 to 45 or something like that. Then I could see Minnesota saying, okay, well, let's throw Cat back in there and try to get the win. But regardless, whether he plays or he doesn't, Lakers need to handle business, right? Lakers are the better team even when Minnesota's fully healthy. But now they have the disadvantage. You need to take care of it. You're a lion that is looking at a wounded gazelle. You need to track that down, hunt that down, and finish it, right? Get it done. Feast, eat, and let's go, hunt some grizzly, right? That's what we need to do. And look, Karl Anthony Towns, he has the potential to go off and be great. He's not a good defender. He doesn't do a good job defending without fouling. Attack him. Target him. Go after him. Put the pressure on Karl Anthony Towns and make him have to be a real defender. And if he gets into foul trouble, that's it. The game's over, right? Like, if he gets 3 early fouls and he has to sit a quarter and a half, that's it. I mean, what are they going to do? Put Torian Prince on, Kyle Anderson on Anthony Davis? I mean, that's easy. I mean, that they might as well just let Anthony Davis just walk to the rim all game, right? So that's what you need to do. The game plan should be just going at Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, throw in everybody, but with or without Karl Anthony Towns, you have to contain the other guys, right? You have to watch Anthony Edwards. Now, Jared Vanderbilt did a great job against Edwards last matchup. He's also very familiar with Anthony Edwards since they shared the team together last season. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt were all on the Timberwolves team that was fighting in the same position for the 7th seed. So, same scenario, only this time those guys are with the Lakers. But Anthony Edwards is a guy that can absolutely get it going and change the tide of the game. And they're going to need him to be heroic. If Minnesota has any opportunity or chance of winning this game, Anthony Edwards is going to have to be prime Jordan, right? He's going to have to be going for like 50. Karl Anthony Towns is probably going to have to go for 30. Or some guy is going to have to step, like Torian Prince is going to have to hit 10 threes. Something crazy is going to have to happen. Because I think Minnesota has the firepower still, but do they have enough to really kind of change the tide of this game? I don't think so. Look, they played the Pelicans. The Pelicans don't have anywhere near the defensive team that we have. They also don't have the rim protection that we have. And it's one thing for a team to get hot for, like a 12-minute stretch, because the guys that are likely going to start this game are going to be Conley, Anthony Edwards, Kyle Anderson, Torian Prince, and Karl Anthony Towns. Now, in that 12-minute stretch that they played together, they were a +8. It's one thing for them to be able to put that together for 12 minutes. It's another thing for them to have to do that for an entire game, an entire 48 minutes, which they're very likely going to have to play. Unless there's some crazy unsung hero, some guy that's sitting and dwelling on the bench that comes out and drops 30, the Lakers should get this done. I think this is a game that the Lakers really, you just got to play half decent and you should win this game. Anthony Edwards, yes, he could be a problem, but he's not going to beat you by himself, right? So they're going to need other guys to step up. Karl Anthony Towns, even if he gets 30. Let's say Edwards goes for 50 and Cat goes for 30. That's 80 points. The Lakers are going to score more than 80 points, right? So even if you just let those two kill you, right? Stop everyone else. Shut everyone else down. Slow everyone else down. And you're going to win the game, right? If the Timberwolves only get to like 100, 110 points, you're probably winning. Like, Lakers should easily put up a $120 against this team. So you should even be able to outscore them. But I don't want this to get into a foot race to where we're going into this back and forth. That's the last thing the Lakers want to do, right? Dominate, establish yourself early. If Anthony Davis and LeBron James can coast, fine. If they don't have to overexert themselves and kill themselves to win this game, that's good. But still, if they have to show up, you need them to show up, right? This is a game that Anthony Davis should easily get, 30 and 15. Karl Anthony Towns cannot guard Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis should dominate this matchup. I mean, they couldn't guard Anthony Davis with Rudy and Cat. You think that they're going to be able to guard him with Karl Anthony Towns and no one else? But you know that they're probably going to double team him, likely with Kyle Anderson because of his length and size and stuff. Other guys are going to have to step up. You know, Anthony Davis likes to look to pass out. He's had games where he's had 6 assists when teams are double teaming him. But he needs to assert himself if guys aren't getting going. I don't mind early on if they double and he's kicking out and he's getting other guys going and he's kind of, letting other guys step up. That's fine. But if those other guys aren't stepping up, you have to get going. You have to dominate. LeBron is going to have to. Kyle Anderson and Taurean Prince cannot guard LeBron James. Rui Hachimura should feast in this game because they don't have anyone with size to guard him and keep him from just bully ball, right? Dennis Schroeder, if he plays tonight, which it's kind of looking 50-50. I've seen some reports that say he isn't, some reports say he is. But if he does, he needs to be aggressive and go right at Karl Anthony Towns' chest. I don't care if he gets blocked every single time. I don't care if Schroeder gives us a goose egg. It's about getting into his chest, wearing him down, and on top of that, trying to get him into foul trouble, because if he gets into foul trouble, that's it. All our guys need to be aggressive, need to be physical, need to get to the hoop. Austin Reeves, same thing. Challenge Cat, get into his chest, and put it on the refs to make a call, make a play, make a decision. We have all the intangibles. You have D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, who all 3 of those guys were just here against the Timberwolves, or with the Timberwolves. So they're familiar with the team, they're familiar with the situation and environment, and they need to go do the job and have big games. I need to see D'Lo have a solid game. I'm not saying he has to go off for 30 and 20 or something like that, but give us 17 to 20 points on efficient shooting, make some nice plays, dish out some assists, keep turnovers low, because that's the last thing you want to do if you're the Lakers. Because look, the way that the Timberwolves are going to win this game is great shooting, dominant performances by Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, and the Lakers turning the ball over. I'm telling you, if the Lakers end up with 20 turnovers, they might lose this game, for real. So they need to protect the ball. We need to see guys outside of LeBron and AD stepping up. And this should be a game that the Lakers should be able to win handily, right? You come out with the sense of urgency. We talked about this in, the Jazz game, the Suns game, all that stuff. I don't really hold the Lakers to that. It's a regular season game in which they're just trying to get into the play-in. They could have all played on one leg or all shot left-handed, and they probably still would have won, right? So I don't really knock it that much. But this is a playoff game. This is a completely different scenario, completely different environment. You need to lock in. So I expect them to get it done. I expect them to win. Whether Karl Anthony Towns plays or not, doesn't matter. Lakers need to get the job done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Karl Anthony Towns plays tonight? Do you think if he does, do you think the Wolves have a chance at all? Do you think it's no chance? Do you think the Wolves have a chance with, Cat actually playing? Or do you think Lakers are just going to run through them? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know.